Action Film Autopsy.
Hey, hi.
I love that opening.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There you go. There you
There you
go.
go. Hands, open hands, kids. Open
That's
hands.
right. That's right. That's
Oh
right.
yeah, Ultraman, Shin Ultraman over here. That's awesome.
Yeah.
There you go.
I like that. That's my stuff right there. What is
There you
going
go.
on, everybody? That's right. Fat Samurai Guy is back again with another episode of Action Film Autopsy. That's right. And we got in the heezy. That's right. Kung Fu Santa has returned, Sifu Santa, and the special guest, the legend. That's right, the master of remaster, Frank Djeng, has returned to the channel. Welcome back, Frank.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for inviting me back. It's been a while.
You can call him Master Remaster. You can call him Remaster Master. You can call him Master Up, but you don't have to call him Ray. Or Blu-ray. We can call him Blu-ray. We can call him Blu-ray Master of Remaster.
Yes. Frank has been on fire as of late. Well, always with the audio commentaries, man. That's right. Eureka 88 Films. He's on fire. Many more. Can you give us a little what's coming out soon, or is it on the hush, Frank?
I can give you, I mean, we have the In the Line of Duty box set coming out in March from 88 Films. We also have the same film coming out from Eureka for the UK. Also, I mean, they already did Yes, Madam. And Royal Warriors is next, and then the In the Line of Duty 3 and 4 in March.
Yes.
We have some Ringo Lamb. Yeah,
you
go
do
ahead.
Different audio commentaries for Eureka and 88 for the same movie?
Yeah, but I make it different. I make them different.
Of course you do. I know you do. But that's awesome.
Yeah. Then we have Ringo Lamb's Burning Paradise coming up. Chow and Fat, Rich and Famous, Tragic Hero coming up. And there will be I can't tell you the titles, but there will be some Jet Li and Stephen Chow titles coming too. So
woo! Fire.
And you're working with FJ, you're working with all the guys. It's just awesome.
Yeah, no, it's great. FJ is great. We just did the commentary for God of Gamblers, in LA. So yeah.
Nice. I'm gonna have to pick. I'm gonna have to buy all. I'm buying them all, Frank.
There you go.
I'm buying them all.
That's the only way.
Before we get started tonight on the best and worst of 2022, I can't wait to hear what Frank and Rick have to bring us today. What we're going to do is
right now.
This is right. What we're going to do is we're going to start with we're going to start with Frank's list first. We're going to go through the worst, honorable mentions, and then the best, and then we'll go into Rick's list, and it's going to be interesting because some of Frank's might end up on Rick's worst, or vice versa. So it's going to be fun.
Really interesting stuff here.
Yeah. But before we get started, quick shout out to chat in the house. That's right, Movie Dojo Army representing. We got Jake Hall, Lady Danish, Heather in the house, Psych Long. That's right, functioning adequately. He says, "Hell yeah, Rick." Michael Gonzalez. That's right, Brian Sanchez. That's right. Takashi Kentano 3. What is going on? He says, "Hello, I am here for the all-star lineup."
There you go. All right.
You are an all-star, sir. Yeah. What's Rick's grabbing something back there? What's he grabbing?
I was trying to put up, one of my other book, but there's no room for on the shelf. So let's carry on.
It's all good. It's all good. Well, yeah, we can go ahead and have some fun and jump right into it. Samurai Guy next week is the goal. Me and Lady Fabula are going to be doing our own best and worst lists. That's next week.
I hear that.
So this is more of Frank and Rick's choices today, but Samurai Guy will chime in. I did see some of these, so we'll have some fun here. All right.
We're doing the best action and worst action.
Yes.
That's the Action Film Autopsy.
Yes. All right. Frank, let's start with the worst, some of your disappointment picks, sir.
Okay, so I don't have 10 worst, but and to me, I have 5. So, but to me, these are really not like worst films, and more like disappointment. In that, I was hoping they would be better than I thought, and I was disappointed. So these are the 5.
Okay.
In no particular order. Now, do I need to describe my reason for it when I say them?
Well, let's see what they are first, and then
it's a discussion. It's a discussion there.
All right, so my 5 disappointing films were in no particular order: Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness.
Okay.
Black Adam.
Okay.
Thor: Love and Thunder.
Thor: Love and Thunder. Okay.
Yeah, Thor:
I'm
Love and
beginning to
Thunder.
see a theme developing here.
Okay,
Love
okay. Yeah, Thor: Love
Thunder.
and Thunder.
Yeah.
Fantastic Beasts, 3,
Okay.
I guess. Yeah. Yeah, the Vuelva a la Magia, Solo es Cines, Próximamente, and Wakanda Forever.
And what was it?
All right.
Wakanda Forever.
Oh, what? Well, wait a minute. Why did you dislike that one?
I know I didn't dislike that one. This one,
You're disappointed in that one.
no, this one was bound to be the disappointment no matter what they did because of the fact that we don't have, Boswick. We don't have,
Chadwick
we don't
Boseman.
have the Black Panther no more. I mean, the guy who did it died. So
Oh,
whatever, like
okay.
I was so excited about seeing him coming back, but the fact that he's not
Right.
coming back just means that whatever they did is not going to top whatever original plan they had with him participating. So
So
that's
you came into the movie disappointed.
in the way I was, yes, and yeah, in a
Oh,
way,
well,
and no, the film was fine. No. Look, the
yeah,
film is
that's
okay.
not fair, Frank. That's to put it on your disappointing thing. It had no power over how was the movie. I mean, the fact that poor Chadwick had passed away shouldn't be held against the film.
I
But
understand.
anyway,
I
okay,
understand. No. I know. Well, I guess I can. Okay, I guess I'll put it this way. I think Phase 4 in general has been a disappointment overall for me.
yeah, it's been weaker.
Yeah,
But
because
I thought Wakanda was one of the stronger of the Phase 4.
which one was that?
Wakanda.
Well, yeah, that is one of the stronger ones, yes. But I think the problem, my general overall problem with Phase 4 was I don't know where it's going. I don't know where I don't know where the story is going. I don't know what the big plan is.
Right.
And to me, actually, the one that I really like among the Phase 4 films was Eternals, because I thought Eternals was really the only one. I know, just hear me out. I thought Eternals was the only one that had this theme that kind of encompassed the whole celestial, the whole overall big picture of it. That you felt that there's a threatening power in the celestials. That was to me the only film that really kind of ties in with the overall arc of the story.
What's great about today's action film autopsy is that the viewer is going to get a complete look because you and I are yin and yang. It's like, your reasons are different than my reasons.
Right.
And and also it really makes, with all three of us, it makes it very clear to each his own. Everybody's going to have their own taste and their own reason. Now, it's interesting. Your reason for finding Phase 4 of the Marvel stuff weak is the opposite of my reason. Your reason is you don't know where they're going. My problem with it is that I see where they're going, and where they're going is anywhere they want. Because of the multiverse, because of the quantum realm, they can do whatever they want. And that's the same with the Eternals. The Eternals goes the entire history of humankind, all points of the planet. I'm just going, pick a place and do it. Stop going all over the place, because one of my phrases, patent pending copyright, is when anything is possible, nothing is interesting. Because there's nothing to hold on to, because anything goes at any time. So I'm just sort of like, but you'll see on my list, no, that's not true. Thor is on my list, but that's for a different reason. And some others. We'll get to my list. Do you want to do your best now?
Well, let me quickly just explain the other
disappointment. I want to hear why Frank was disappointed with these movies. Go ahead.
Right.
Frank.
So I already mentioned Wakanda Forever.
Right.
And then, it's a fine film. It's just that it could not top my expectation of him being there because he's not there. That's the main reason.
Yeah. This is not your worst. This is your most disappointing.
Exactly. These are not worst. These are which is now the problem with Doctor Strange 2 and Thor was, again, Doctor Strange 2, I thought that they went the wrong way with having Scarlet Witch be the villain. I really thought that they should have gone some other way. That was my main thing. It's just like she turned so fast from, and her reason for becoming the villain was kind of.
Well, that was from the comic.
Right, from the comic. Right, I understand. From a comic, from a TV series and all that. I just felt that it could have gone somehow. I don't know. It would have
Did
been
you want
better.
did you want a completely different villain and not have Wanda in it?
Exactly. I wanted someone else different, not one of the Avengers, so to speak. So.
Let me do this face. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Thor, I just felt that is, I don't know. I just felt that Thor: Love and Thunder didn't contribute to the.
Well, it was a mess.
Yeah, it was a mess. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a great 4 hour. They should have done that as a series.
Yes. Agreed.
Because as everybody knows, Taika Waititi, the director, just filmed like crazy. He went all over the place, and they were cutting huge. I mean, if Thor: Love and Thunder was a human body, it would have been without its arms and legs.
Yeah.
And so it was just, again, an inexplicable mess. We'll get into more inexplicable messes.
I agree. No, it was a mess, and it's just like it didn't. I don't know. It didn't contribute anything to the whole Phase 4.
Right.
The other two, Black Adam, I didn't like I thought that they had no idea what tone they should take. It's like they started dark, and then they have that teenager kid. It's like, okay, we have to, we first have to please the people who like the dark stuff. I like the dark stuff, okay, and then you have that teenager. I know. You had the teenager coming in, and then it's almost like it took me out of the picture. And then it's like they didn't know what to go. They didn't know what tone to set. They knew that their main character kills people, and then they kind of discarded that later on. Like, oh, he's a good guy too. He's really a superhero. And it's like, well, no, you should stay with you should maintain the same tone that you want to maintain, not like switching back and forth.
Yeah.
I mean,
Of course, I didn't have a problem with the tone. I had a problem with the incredible stupidity.
Yeah, no, it was also a pretty.
It was incredibly stupid.
Yeah, I mean, as I was watching it, I felt that this is not for the demo. Like, this is not for my demographics. I like the stuff. Yeah, I like the dark stuff. I mean, the Batman.
I like the dark stuff if it's great.
Yeah. The
I
dark
don't
stuff's
like
great.
the dark stuff. It's stupid.
Yep. True.
I mean, he shows up from the very moment he shows up. Makes it clear that he's all powerful and he's totally willing to kill people.
Yep.
Totally willing.
Yep.
He has like an army of people to kill. But what does that army of people do? The first guy empties his gun into Black Adam. Black Adam kills him. The second guy empties his gun into Black Adam. Black Adam kills him. The third guy, the fourth guy, the fifth guy. I mean, they're all standing around with loaded guns, and it's like nobody notices that when they empty their gun into this guy, nothing happens,
right,
except that he then kills them.
Right.
And they just keep doing it. And then the Justice Society shows up, and they land, and they're the Justice Society. They're there to make things right. So what is the first thing they do? They say, Black Adam, let me give you a choice of two things that you're never going to do. And it's like, Black Adam goes, well, I can't do that. And they say, well, then we have to fight. I'm going, why? It's just, the movie is nonsense. That's on my best disappointed list, Frank, because I was disappointed in my buddy Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
When I was in the WWF at that time Attitude commercial, I got to meet Dwayne Johnson. I got to talk to The Rock. I got to hang with The Rock. And I've enjoyed what The Rock has been doing in his career up until here. He wants to entertain you, but here he lost grip on how to do that, because he had to understand he wasn't just The Rock anymore. He was Black Adam.
Right.
And so if he's trying to make the Black Adam The Rock, it didn't work.
Right.
And again, stunningly, completely, utterly, repeatedly stupid. It never got
I have to chime in on the stupidity, Rick.
Yeah.
So you know how last time we talked about it, I didn't see the movie yet until recently. So you know how you mentioned that, when the Justice Society showed up, especially Hawkman, the first thing Hawkman says is, as soon as Hawkman shows up, the first thing he says is, stop what you're doing and bow down. Actually, it was worse, Rick.
Yeah.
It was worse.
Yeah.
No, it was worse, because when I watched the movie, it wasn't Hawkman. It was actually Dr. Fate who came in, which is worse because he's supposed to be the wise one. And what he said and what Dr. Fate said was worse, Rick. He told Black Adam, stop what you're doing or die. This is worse.
I mean,
But yeah,
again,
I had to throw that in because it's hilarious.
well, very true. It's stunningly stupid.
Yeah.
But
No,
let's,
Dr. Fate was the best thing of the whole film. I mean, Pierce
Yes.
Brosnan, I thought was great. Yeah.
Yes.
I agree.
All right.
Okay, so
Frank, disappointments for. Oh, go ahead.
one more. So the Fantastic Beast.
Oh
Yes.
God.
That was that was my last disappointment. Well, I was disappointed because like they knew already how bad the reception to the previous film was. They had a chance to improve it, had a chance to make it better, and they didn't. And they didn't. And now instead of 5 films, I think this will be the last film. I don't think they're going to finish it. You know, and which is a shame because I like I like the world building, I like the character. It's just that like they had a chance to really make the third film so much better, and they blew it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think I don't want to. I do actually want to leave it at the feet of J.K. Rowling because she insisted on writing
The
the
screenplay.
screenplays, even though it was very clear from the very first she had no idea how to do a screenplay.
Yeah.
I mean, I've worked in many different mediums, and writing a book is, and most writers, most comic book writers and book writers think that every other medium is the same. But I've worked with comic book guys who tried to write novels and they couldn't do it because each medium is different.
Right.
And again, they didn't want to lose the connection with J.K. Rowling, even after she put her foot in her mouth repeatedly. But so they keep betting on this and they keep, slicing their own throats. It's a shame.
It is a shame. It's a shame. And yeah, I just hope that I just wish it was been much better. And
I came to the movie. I came to Secrets of Dumbledore figuring there was no way it was going to be better, and it wasn't. So I wasn't disappointed. I was okay. Yeah, this is exactly. It's one of the better of those movies, but it's very dull. It's boring.
Yep.
Cinematography's great, actors are great, but whatever. It filled time.
Yeah,
Frank.
I mean, number one is still the best.
Did they waste Mads Mikkelsen?
Did they waste him?
No, I mean he's always great, but there's nothing around him.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's cut out.
Yeah.
All right, now is that it? Are we good?
That's it for the disappointment.
That's for the disappointments list.
Best,
now it's time for the best. Frank.
Okay, best one. So I just go over them and then a brief comment on each one.
Okay,
sure.
All right, number 10, The Northman. Fantastic film, very dark. I mean, it's almost like totally politically incorrect, and I love it. A great cinematography, great sound. I mean, I saw this in Alamo Draft House in Brooklyn, and man, the sound was like huge. Wonderful film. I love it. I just love it. I mean, like it really took it back to the Day of the Vikings. That was great. Number 9, RRR, the Indian action musical comedy drama, what have you. It's a long film, but it's long, but it's very entertaining.
It's an Indian film. It's not long. It's normal length for an Indian film.
Yeah, normal length for Indian film, and I love the action. Very creative, crazy, out of the world stuff. And even though the British villains are kind of your stereotypical British villain, it's still great fun. So very enjoyable film. Yeah. Number 8, Bullet Train. It was it could be better, but to me it was still very good. I mean you can sense the Tarantino inspiration, and also like the first third, and like the beginning third of the film was the most kind of like the confusing part where he set up everybody, and also he gave everybody a backstory. But then once they got on the train, when the train started going, everything kind of tied in together. And I just love how Brad Pitt, really kind of, you can tell that Brad Pitt was having fun in this film. Like there's a scene where he was talking to Sandra Bullock at the restroom in the restroom on the train. And he, because that being a Japanese train, they have that bidet thing, where you have water and air flushing, the total thing, washer thing. And while I was talking to her, she just started blow drying his hair and stuff. I thought that was hilarious.
And remember, it wasn't Sandra Bullock; it was the robot Sandra Bullock.
Okay, there you go.
Her face was weird,
right?
Go ahead.
Yeah, and the thing that I really like about it gave you expectation that in the end this train's gonna either crash or derail, what have you, and it gave you that.
Yeah,
it really gave you what you wanted to see, and for that I really appreciate it.
You wanted to see.
Yeah, I want to see. It's a live action anime. Totally agree, live action, and also I love the use of music. Like again, I said Tarantino but they use the 2 Japanese songs very nicely. I really love those sequences. So.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah. Bullet Train number 8. Number 7,
All
I
right.
know Rick's not gonna like this. Number 7 is Ambulance. Again, this is kind of like Michael Bay light, but still, it's entertaining. The story, you kind of really didn't know how the story will go, and the drone shots are incredible. I mean, that to me was its greatest ass. It's almost like, I mean, it's just like Michael Bay showing off, like, look what I can do with the drones.
Right.
Look at these shots. Look how I
Like
can do
what
it.
you like.
Yeah. See, it is transforming. Like, look, I love Michael Bay. I think he's a great technical filmmaker. Okay, don't get me wrong. I know people don't like him. I know story wise, it's shit, but technically, he's a great technical filmmaker. No, I'm serious. I love.
I like Bad Boys
Yeah,
too, man.
I'm
Bad
No,
Boys
sorry,
Bad Boys
2.
is great. I
I'm
mean, the
sorry,
Bad Boys,
dude.
The Rock. Come on, Armageddon, and then I love the last 2 Transformer film with Mark Wahlberg. I think they were really wonderful. But again, this is kind of like him kind of coming back to form a little bit, but not quite. It's still not as technically still not as complicated as like what he did with the Transformer stuff, but still the drone shots alone make this very entertaining.
All right.
Okay.
So all
There's
you
some
need
good
is a
action in there, though.
film.
There's some good action and some violence.
Some good action. Oh yeah, tons of violence, rated R. So tons of violence, tons of swear words, and I love that use of the Christopher Cross song "Selling." That sequence was great. So anyway, highly. I mean, I love it. Yeah, it blows
There you
things
go,
up real
Frank.
good.
There you
Of
go.
course. Yeah, explosion, Michael Bay. So anyway, Ambulance number 7. Now number 6 is kind of like I wouldn't say call it a tie, but I just want to list them together because they're both animation.
Okay.
Now the obvious choice, of course, has been Minions: Rise of Gru, because our good friend Rick Myers is the consultant. No, look, I love Minions.
How much did he pay you? How much did he pay
He
you?
didn't pay me
I
a
pay him
dime. No, I pay him.
Yeah,
I
there
paid
you
him yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So Minions, no, Minions was lots of fun.
Okay.
I like the good thing about these 2 animation films. Well, okay, I'll name the other one is Puss in Boots. Okay, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. So these 2 are my animation favorite this year. Now the Minions, yes, Minnie Myers.
Yeah. There you go.
The one thing that I like the most about these 2 films was like it's almost like they're not making them for the kids. They're making them for us. They're making
Oh, nice.
they're making these films for people like us at a certain age where we can appreciate certain humor, and also they can do certain like homage and parody. Like Minions, obviously, 70s kung fu, blaxploitation, what have you, disco, Enter the Dragon, all that stuff. Great stuff. Puss in Boots, they have all of a sudden out of nowhere, they had this parody of Apocalypse Now. And I was like laughing so hard. All of a sudden, it just came up. And they even used the Doors, the end, the song. It's like, oh my
Wow.
God, So and the theme, like Puss in Boots, the theme is really kind of dark and mature for animation films, about the fear of death. And yeah, and that's unusual for an animation film. And again, the voice acting for both films were top notch voice acting, and in particular, Minion has some really laugh out loud moments that is just a delightful film. And I think whatever Rick contributed to it, I think it was great. It was delightful. I would assume all the kung fu stuff in the Minions was great. And then the Puss in Boots, the humor is nice. It's not as laugh out loud as Minions, but it was like a chuckle. It's more like oh yeah, that's good. It's more like smart humor, and the voice acting again wonderful in both films. So
Nice.
those are number 6. Number 5, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Again, saw this in Alamo Drafthouse in Brooklyn. Didn't know what to expect, and came out having a great time. The story was great. The creativity is off the charts, and this the creative way they make all those effects. You can tell like almost all the effects are practical, which is fantastic. And also, you have all these homages to, like in the Mood for Love, Wong Kar Wai, and the story is like really just like how the Chinese title. They actually have a Chinese title for the film. It's called Heavenly Horse Traveling in Space, and that was the actual Chinese title of the film, because you saw the Chinese title at the end of the film. It was exactly what that was. It was like multiverse, fantasy, action, martial arts, drama, family issue stuff. It's great. It's again, it's like unexpected. You don't know where it's going, and all of a sudden you have this little charming scene with 2 rocks talking You know,
Yeah.
yeah, that is actually kind of moving. You know, so
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I like creativity. I like original stuff, and to me, this was like really one of the best creatively original film of this year. Yeah,
Yeah,
Nice. Great
especially
pick.
since they took the multiverse and they put it on a human level. That's what
exactly.
I was waiting for. It's not it's not anything can happen even though everything everywhere, but it's all about humans dealing with it, not superheroes. So that was great.
Yeah, and I think
Uh,
both lead. You know, and I'll be very happy if both either Michelle or He Kui Kwan win whatever Oscar. You know, I think Michelle deserved the Oscar, even though I'm afraid she might lose to Cate Blanchett again because she was so great in Tar. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it would be nice to see
Still need to
Michelle.
see that. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be.
Rick,
Hmm?
it-
here you go,
oh,
Rick.
oh, yep, that was to be expected. So,
Yep.
There you
yep,
go. You called it.
Good. I'm glad.
yeah. So, but like I said, it would be great if He Kui Kwan wins Best Supporting Actor or Michelle wins Best Actress. So.
I'd be happy if they're just nominated.
Yeah, exactly too. That too. Yeah. Oh, we'll go see them next. I guess in a few weeks at the Golden Globes. We'll find out whether they will win the Golden Globes.
Golden Globes.
I know.
Please.
if she cleans up a lot with Golden Globes, that means she's not winning the Oscar.
I know. Yeah.
That's how it works.
All right.
All right.
Number four. You know I have to include this. Warriors of Future. I really think this was a huge step ahead in terms of sci-fi films in Hong Kong. The effects are great. It was like 5, 6, I mean, like almost 10 years in the making, to be honest. You know, if you count all the like when we hear it in the initial announcement that Louis Koo is going to make this film, it was almost like 9 years ago. And then we never knew what happened to it. All of a sudden, we knew they were doing post. We saw trailers like 2 years, 3 years ago. And all of a sudden, the film's ready, it's out, and now it's on Netflix. So, but as a Hong Kong guy, I have to, of course, support Hong Kong film. I have to support original sci-fi, and I mean, the story is kind of the story really could have been much. I know the story really should have.
Yes,
But does it deliver the thrills and
Oh, well, action
and
wise, yes,
excitement?
yes. No, action wise, it does. Story wise,
Because I want
no.
to see this. I want to see this.
No, story wise is like if you enjoy Nick Djeng being with a big nose as your villain, then yeah, that's your film. But he was wearing a fake nose. Nick Djeng has a fake nose. Like, why does he have to wear a fake nose? But yeah, I mean the effects are great, and I love what Louis Koo is doing in Hong Kong film. You can tell he's really supportive of the Hong Kong cinema. He's trying to kind of revive the Hong Kong film industry, and God bless him. He's spending tons of money on all these films.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck, exactly. And surprisingly, Hong Kong film doing well box office wise this year. With non-action films. All these drama
All
and
right.
stuff, they're making really a lot of good box office there, and hopefully it will kind of continue at least for a while, and that we'll see more action sci-fi films from him in the future. So number 4,
Nice.
yeah.
Frank,
All right,
is
yeah.
this based off of anything?
No, original
Oh,
sci-fi.
all right.
Yeah.
All right. Copy that.
Copy that. Okay, top 3. Number 3, The Batman.
Dun,
So
dun, dun.
I like the top 3 movies on my list were the one that I actually went back to see it twice, or I'm going to see them twice in theaters. So this was definitely one of them. I mean, it's like the Blade Runner of comic book films. It is noirish, it's beautiful, the story is great, and again, like I mentioned before, I love my comic book movies dark. This was dark without being like Snyder dark. This was still, it's still, it's still very rich in color. The story was great. I think Robert Pattinson is a great Batman. Moody, tormented. And I love the fact that they went back to a detective story. Like Batman started as a
Yes.
detective.
Yes.
Except he was an incompetent detective.
Yeah, it was an incompetent detective. It's almost like, oh yeah,
Year one.
year one, and yeah, he could have been a better detective. But still, I like the fact they go back to the detective origin of Batman, and art direction is wonderful. Music is great. It sounds great. I mean,
Yeah.
Those drone shots are great. Damn drone shots. How are the drone shots in Warriors of Virtue? How is the drone shot?
Wars of Future.
Where is the
Virtue is that kangaroo
I like
film.
Warriors of Virtue better.
So yeah, I mean Batman, and I can't wait to see the next, whatever they're going to do next, especially with probably assuming with the Joker and Penguin again. So no, I think Batman's wonderful. Yeah. All right, number 2, Top Gun Maverick.
What is it?
Top Gun.
Oh, that's number 2.
That's number 2.
Oh,
And
I know.
I know. I will explain why this is not number 1 later. But
Okay, go ahead.
for a sequel that is 37 years in the making, it really, it really kind of meet all the expectation and more. It has to be good. Yeah, you knew this Tom Cruise is going to be great, but really, it was wonderful. I mean, the action scene, the storyline, and again, it's almost like it was made not for the new generation anymore. It's made for people like us who grew up watching the first film, who kind of we knew all the lines in the first film and all the characters, and it really kind of brings you back to that era. It brings you back to that mentality, and the action is great. What more can you ask with him putting you in the cockpit and with all the great design of the film, design the action sequences. It tells you what they need to do, and then of course they show you how they're gonna do it, and with all the obstacles and how they're gonna overcome the obstacles. But yeah, wonderful film. And number 1, so the number 1, and I'll explain why this has to be number 1. Okay, Avatar, of course.
The drone shots were great.
The drone shots were great. Look, when was the last time you have seen a film like Avatar: The Way of Water, where the entire last hour is one giant action sequence?
True.
Since Fury Road, right? I mean, look, this has the best action sequence since Fury Road.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
wow.
Just nonstop action from like the last hour, and look, I mean, it's a long
3-hour movie.
I know it's
a 3-hour movie.
3-hour movie. Like they didn't even go to the water side of the planet till like the second hour. Like the first hour, they're still at the original Avatar area. But look,
go ahead.
He took his time. Maybe, but I liked I like what he did to Stephen Lang's character. He took his time. It's like there's no hurry. Even he tells you there's no hurry. You can go pee and all that stuff. It's almost like it gives you the impression like back then when you were seeing movies like Lawrence of Arabia, like long 3-hour epic movies where you can just kind of immerse yourself into this whole world building. Of course, the technology is all better. I mean, the technology is already better than what he did last time with Avatar, and you have to give credit. You have to give credits to him for advancing the movie making technology.
Yeah, but not number 1 credit. You're making it number 1, and that's fine for you. We'll get to what I think.
It's all right, Frank. If you like it, you like it, man.
No,
it's all good.
No, it was hard for me to choose between 1 and 2. To me, they're really like should I choose Top Gun as number 1 or Avatar? And I really have to kind of go with Avatar because in terms of the technology, I think Avatar is a little bit more ahead than Top Gun, just a little bit more. But because again, the world is created,
Yeah, you're the tech guy.
Yeah, I'm a tech guy, exactly.
Right. So it was one of the best almost 4-hour tech demos you've ever seen.
But again, like I said, that whole last hour is just
it's all action.
Yeah, it's all action.
If I can get the last hour on its own, I'll be happy. Because the last hour doesn't have all the incredible stupidity leading up to the last hour. Again, it's not as stupid as Black Adam, but it's still incredibly. The characters are Forrest Gumps. They're all Forrest Gumps, and that's fine. Although the plot is retreaded.
Although there's one sequence that I kind of like. Remember when they were looking for the Scully family, and then they went to all these different villages, and they were threatening the kids and stuff. And I was watching it and thought, you know what? That's straight out of Platoon.
Yeah.
Well, remember that scene in Platoon where they went to the village, and then he had to point a gun. Tom Berenger's character pointed a gun at the kid. It's like, oh my God, that's Platoon. So they were like, I mean,
they're not in Kansas anymore.
I know they're not in Kansas anymore.
I mean, but fine. Cameron is doing what he wants to do now, and more power to him because he's great.
Right. I think both Tom Cruise and James Cameron are pushing the boundary of action filmmaking. I just feel that Cameron is moving just a little bit higher, so that just a little bit more.
I can't agree but you're the tech guy. I'm the story guy.
Right.
That's what killed. I mean, Avatar's not even on my list because I had to wait. If I'd gone into the last hour, it would have been on my list. But I had to sit through the other 2 hours, and it was like, and I'm again sitting there going,
I know, but although there were moments that kind of surprised me too. I mean, like the scene with daughter, the Signori Weaver's character.
Yeah.
What she did at the end is straight out of anime, and that again was kind of unexpected, and I like that. I like that he's doing stuff that anime. That's like anime. What she did in the end.
Well, you'll see on my list, I didn't choose that moment. I choose actual anime. I actually put actual anime on my list rather than.
That's my list. That's my list.
Yay! Good job.
All right. So nice, Frank. Nice.
Yay!
All right.
Tech
Hold
guy,
on a second.
guy.
Got a little bit of
Drone guy. Tech drone.
Drone
tech
guy,
guy.
yeah.
All right.
I
Quick
love
recap.
drones.
Quick recap.
We don't need a recap.
Quick recap for people who just now showing up. Frank's
the top
best
10, right?
is action of the year. The Northman, RRR, Bullet Train, Ambulance, Puss in Boots, Minions, The Rise of Gru, everywhere, all at once. Warriors of Virtue, the Kung Fu Kangaroo film.
Oh,
That's
no,
right.
no.
The Batman.
What is the future?
I know. I'm just messing with you.
I know.
The Batman, Top Gun Maverick, and Avatar: The Way of Tech demo 4 hours.
Water.
All right.
The way of tech. All right.
The way of tech. There you go.
What am I doing? First?
You are doing
Worst.
your worst.
Worst.
Wait, hold on.
Or I'm going 1 to 10.
I thought I had your. Let's do it. Yeah, we'll do. Is it worst or disappointed for you, Rick?
Oh, it's worst.
It's worst. Okay, worst, then honorable mentions, then best.
Oh, honorable mentions we're doing. Okay,
I have them here. I can let you know when we get to it if you need it.
Let's see what we got. Anyway,
worst.
Number 10, worst movie. It's a double. I doubled it up because I just saw the second movie recently, and I said, "Oh no, this has to go together." Lightyear and Strange World.
What?
Pixar's Lightyear.
Oh.
And Strange World. I still think it's very clear that Pixar had a bet with the Walt Disney Company. Said, "Let's take this lame science fiction plot and see which studio can do it better." And my answer is they both lost. Both these movies are inexplicable. I mean, it's like Lightyear, okay, Lightyear makes sense. If you're going to greenlight something, greenlighting Lightyear, it's a great idea. And the idea that you create the movie that got the kid who bought the Buzz Lightyear toy from Toy Story, you make that movie, the movie that excited him about Buzz Lightyear, but then they make this turgid, stupid, awful, dumb, dragged out adult movie, which no kid would ever love. Then Strange World, it's like they seem to be trying to do an homage to 1930s pulp science fiction, but all the action is based on stupid people getting into stupid arguments and not getting smart, just arguing for no reason, for stupid reasons. They're all copying these bad sitcom attitudes. I love a good sitcom, but I hate a bad sitcom where everybody's just so contrived and so mentally constipated. And both of these movies I'm watching with my jaw dropped. It's like going, these guys are much better than this. Why are they slumming this way? I don't have the answer yet, but that's my work. That's my top 10 worst.
I thought Lightyear, the first 20 minutes of Lightyear was fantastic, and then after that first 20 minutes, it's like, oh
yeah. But again, the first 20 minutes is based on, again, if a 10-year-old kid is going to love a science fiction movie, it's not because it's cerebral. It's not because, we have to deal with this time travel thing. It's space adventure. It's thrills. It's, and here they're coming up with this plot line. And also Lightyear himself, the fact that they changed the voice, that they got rid of Tim Allen and put in Chris, it's like this Lightyear is not likable. Tim Allen's Buzz Lightyear was very likable. And also he was a hero. He did heroic things. This Buzz Lightyear was, again, mentally constipated. He just, what, this is happening? Oh, I don't get it. Oh, I don't understand. Oh, this animal frightens me. It's like, who the hell are you? You're not Buzz Lightyear. What are you doing in this movie? So in any case, let me get off of that because it's just so frustrating and so stupid. Thor: Love and Thunder is my second choice. And again, I'm working basically just on the action. They kept, I mean, you know me, I'm all about payoff and setup. And they kept setting up and they kept dropping the payoff.
Yep.
I mean, they set up the villain, they drop it. They set up Jane becoming Thor, they drop it. You don't see her become Thor. And the action is, again, all of it, it's kind of like, aren't we having fun? Isn't this fun? No, you may be having fun, but I'm in the audience and I'm not having any fun. And again, just that ending where Thor gets all the children to fight the god. I mean, it's like putting the kids in danger? What the F, man? And of course, Jane shows up and says, of course, me fighting will kill me. It's like it was all over the map. And I'm pretty sure that if they made it into a series, it would be a lot more amenable. But they seem intent. There's always a moment in like the 9th or 10th season of a great comedy. It happened in Cheers. It happened in The Office, where the writers just get tired of their characters. And so they do mean things to their characters on the 9th or 10th year of a sitcom because they don't have any new ideas. And so what seems to be happening with Thor, since Chris and Waititi seem to have control of them, is they've come to hate Thor. Let's make a total a-hole out of Thor. And I don't want you to make a total a-hole out of Thor. I collected the comics. Thor was not an a-hole. So I did not appreciate Thor Love and Thunder. Next one, Uncharted, which continues the bad record of video game movies. And this one, from the very outset, from the very moment it started, it was doomed because the producers were being mercenary about it. Let's not cast the right person to star in Uncharted. Let's cast Spider-Man, because that means the people who love Uncharted and Spider-Man will come to the movie. So that's the kind of thinking that was going on. And meanwhile, they're taking huge hunks out of, the Living Daylights, a James Bond movie. And again, everybody's acting like it's a lark. This isn't a serious movie. We're not going to take this seriously. We're all just going to quip. And the quips are lame. And the action is lame. It's familiar. And also, they figure, okay, it's a video game, so we can do whatever we want. And as usual, it's the John Wick kind of thing, where nobody is real. They're all video game characters, so there's nothing to hold on to. And so it's just empty movement, as I call it, empty movement. Not even good drone shots. Then Secrets of Dumbledore, we already covered that. It was just dull. It was DOA. It was a DOA movie. They know they shouldn't have done it. They did it anyway, hoping that they had a ready-made audience. They didn't, or at least they got rid of it. Then my other, the Netflix action film, Gray Man.
Your favorite.
Just, again, the action in and of itself was pretty interesting, even though it wasn't smart. But it might as well have been who was the guy who did Ambulance? What's his name? Michael Bay. It might as well have been a Michael Bay movie. I think he produced it. Yeah, and so again, it's dumb and it's stupid and they just make up stuff as they go along, and it's also too long. So, and again, the action didn't work for me because it wasn't believable for a second. It was standard operating mixed up martial arts. So no good. Then, of course, right after that, Ambulance. Ambulance was my fifth worst or sixth worst. And that's because it was just Michael Bay picking up a handful of toy soldiers and a handful of toy cars and throwing them. I mean, it wasn't as bad. Yeah, there you go. Totally realistic, and nobody's getting hurt on that, right? The collateral damage is nothing, right? Nobody's getting hurt.
It looks good.
It looks awful to me because, we're not on a farm film report on Second City Television where they just go, yeah, blew it up real good. No, I'm not that kind of guy. I want to see a movie that things just don't, I don't care about explosions. I've seen millions of explosions. Explosions don't do it for me anymore unless they're connected to something. So that clip, by the way, Fat, was perfect clip for that. That's why you liked it, Frank, maybe, and that's why I hated it.
I thought the drone shots are just incredible. I just like
Drone shots. Who cares about the drone shot? You
Okay,
care about
Frank,
the drone shot,
Frank,
I don't care about
and
the drone shots.
Frank, has anyone else used drone shots like he did in any other movie?
No, I haven't seen it. Not the
Who
way he used it.
cares?
I mean, he had drones. He had drones like flying sideways, upside down. It's like turning angle while going at high speed. I mean, come on.
Hey, let me get a drone and I will throw it at a camera. And it's like, wow, that's never been done before. Who cares? The story has to work. The characters have to work. I have to feel something other than derision. I have to care.
Well, there's actually kind of like a story in it, you know.
There is kind of like a story, but it's inundated by all the throwing, all the blowing up real good. It's just inundated. It's not believable at any moment because none of it's real, none of it's believable, none of it's acceptable. Anyway, let's go on.
No, I think for Michael Bay, you kind of have to leave your brain at the door sometimes.
Yeah, but I need my brain. I left my brain when I was your age. I left my brain by the door, and I just sort of went, great. But now everybody's doing that. Everybody can do it. Not everybody can make a great movie that affects me. And he, like I said, he's just picking up toy soldiers and toy cars. I don't
Samurai
care.
Guy can do both. I can
There we go.
turn my brain off.
There we go. My next is Fistful of Vengeance. Another
Woo!
the follow-up to the television show, whatever that was called.
Woo
And again,
Assassins.
it was more chop sake sui. It was Guilo forcing Asians into their idea of what an Asian film is. And they obviously have no idea what a good Asian film is. So they just have all this lame stuff, things coming out of nowhere because, hey, the Kung Fu audience will swallow that. Well, F you guys. I feel bad for the people who were forced into it and, who were collecting them.
Yeah.
Tony Jaa specifically. It was Tony Jaa, right?
No, it's Iko Uwais.
Oh, Iko. Yeah, I met them both.
Right.
Yeah, I felt bad for him, but not so bad because the check was good. If the movie was.
But Rick, it had the greatest in finale fight sequence ever of all time. Come on, where they just dangle them. Hashtag just dangle them in the air. Just dangle them in the air.
The live action Mulan beat them at that because the live action Mulan dangled Jet Li. They dangled Jet Li at the end of the live action Mulan. So that's beat out.
Shout out to stuntman Kyle Wong, our boy Kyle. He did that meme when we did our review of the film. So hashtag just dangle them. If you don't know how to fit, you guys making martial arts movies, the kung fu movies out there, you don't know, you have no ideas for your in finale fight, just dangle them. Just pick up all your actors and do that. All right, go ahead, Rick.
Next worst is Black Adam, and for the reasons I've already said. Just again, really disappointed in The Rock. I'm sorry, but The Rock will learn from this, and The Rock will get better.
What do you think of what James Gunn is doing to DC?
I don't know what he's doing to DC, unlike everybody else in the world who seems to be able to read his mind and know him personally. I mean, I'm not going to prejudge him. I'm just saying that better DC superheroes be under the gun than be back in Zack Attack. Better a gun than Zack. So I'm going to wait and see what he does because I really enjoyed Peacemaker very much. I enjoyed the
Suicide Squad.
No, I didn't enjoy the Suicide Squad. I did enjoy the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special and the two Guardians of the Galaxy movies. He has ambition, he has taste, he has smarts, and hopefully, and also he's very friendly with Kevin Feige. He knows Marvel. He will try to he'll try to roll his own, as Rex Stout used to say, rather than copy. He'll have his heart and his brain involved. as long as Warner's doesn't sabotage him like they have sabotaged virtually everybody else who's worked on that stuff. My second worst of the year was Samaritan.
Oof.
Ooh.
Yeah, see, that's the noise you want to make when you have a bad movie. You don't want to have, the drone shots were good. I'm going to say Samaritan, and everybody goes, ooh, oh. Yeah, it was not good.
I never brought up ambulance.
Yeah, and it was actually, the idea of Samaritan was good, but the execution of the idea was just really
Yes. The
DOA.
concept was great, and
Yeah.
I'm a big Stallone fan, but
And
just
also,
you guys got to watch. You got to watch. Rick, there was several people that they told me they loved Samaritan. They had a blast, and I was like, "Cool, good for you." But if
again,
you watch, but if you watch my review, guys,
Yeah.
watch my review with Kyle. I break it down in detail
Right.
of why I had issues with it. And you'll understand. You even if you still like the movie, check my review out.
hey,
Go
a
ahead, Rick.
lot of people likes just empty movement and action and explosions and drone shots. That's fine. As I always
Not
say,
all the time.
I'm glad you loved it. I wish I did. I didn't.
Right.
But I'm an old man. Get off my cinematic lawn, you guys. But in any case, my number one worst of the year, and this is not, I was going to say this is purely for an action reason, but it's not. Action is big. My number one worst of the year was Halloween Ends.
Oof.
And mainly it's on this list because of there's only really one fight in the whole movie, and it's at the end between Myers, no relation, and Laurie Strode. And it's terrible. It is a terrible fight. Not only has Laurie learned nothing in all her bouts with Michael, but Michael has lost his ability to fight too. That final fight scene was just like, what the F are you guys thinking? And but in a way, I love Halloween Ends because I was trying to figure out, especially after Halloween Kills, I know what Halloween Kills was. That was, we love Michael Myers, let him kill everybody. Then Halloween Ends, it's kind of like, all right, how can we pretend that Halloween is going to end, but at the same time, make the audience hungry for more? Let's make a piece of shit. Let's make a frustrating piece of shit.
That
And
Pinocchio can stare at.
That was terrible. You can't end it like that. Oh, great. We'll come back and do more, which is what I think they're going to do, because by making Michael a walk-on in his Halloween Ends movie and making him ineffectual and hardly in it, he's in like one third of the film.
No more.
I think that's what they were doing. But even so, it was my worst. Now let's get to the best.
Before that, you had a few honorable mentions, of course. Up first, you have Minions, of course.
No, actually, I'm not going to. I mean, I'm very happy that it turned out. I'm very happy they did that drawing for me. I'm very happy they listened to me and did a lot of the things that I suggested they do. I was very happy that they gave me an end credit, which was amazing because I was not contracted to have an end credit in that film.
Oh,
but they did it anyway,
cool.
and it was like, gee, that was because trying to get a credit in a Hollywood movie is really tough, and usually you have to have it contracted up the wazoo before you get it. And not only did they give me a credit, they gave me a credit at the beginning of the end credit.
Yeah, pretty early in the end credits,
with Wade, and they separated my credit and Wade Eastwood's credit. We were both creative consultants from the other people on either side, rather than just. And I was like, they like me. They really like me. So yeah, I was gratified, but at the same time, I wasn't going to say it's one of the best, especially when you get to my best list and you see the animation that I have on my best list.
Right.
So,
but you have two others.
Very flattered and gratified that Frank thought it was one of the best because the drone shots were so good.
Hey, cut that drone shot! Come on.
All right. I'm an action guy. I beat my jokes to death.
No, I love the Minions. Minions are funny.
All right.
You want the other two, Rick?
Well, the other two I really loved. Again, I added two more. I didn't tell you the other two other honorary mentions. But the two animated honorary mentions was Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
Oh.
Yeah.
That
that was
was an
fun.
awesome movie with
I was
every
surprised.
imaginable kind of animation in it. A real wit. I mean, another great example. This is another great example. It was an animated movie where they still made me care about the characters. Awesome. It was supposed to be an anything goes comedy, and it was. And if you haven't seen it, strongly recommend it.
Do you think they should have released it in theaters?
I don't care because I haven't gone to a theater. I've gone to a theater like 3 times in the last 3 years, and every time I've gone to the theater, I've been disappointed by guess what, Frank? By the tech, not the tech of the movie, but the tech of the movie theater.
Oh,
If I'm going to go to a movie theater, I want to see it the best. And if I came and went out, if I lived in Oakland, I would go to every movie with you and Viv. You know, it would be like that would be so awesome. But unfortunately, I'm in Connecticut where the crews don't seem to care. If even when I went to see one of the things that is on my best list, one of the top New York theaters, Laser IMAX, they still fucked up
oh,
in the showing of it. And I was like going, I would rather stay at home. My stereo is better, the screen is better, the projector bulb is better.
was the Lincoln Center one? Was the Lincoln Center one?
I'm sorry?
Was it the Lincoln Center IMAX?
No, I wish it was the
I'm sure.
MIC 25 on 42nd Street.
Oh, God, horrible. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but they keep ruining the shots.
Yeah.
So in any case, whatever. I've Avatar, because of that last hour, I put on honorary mention. If you can tolerate the first 2 hours, which I could tolerate it because I saw the first one, and this is a retread of the first one with even weaker motivations. The motivations for everybody's behavior are extremely weak. It's just James Cameron saying, I'm just doing this to advance things technically. I'm creating an animated movie to advance the art of this kind of animation. And as such, absolutely glorious, but so empty. All I wanted, I didn't need it to be I just wanted to be at least 50% substance. I mean, this was all eye candy. I wanted, a little brain candy, just a little brain candy. That's all I want. I love style, but I want a little substance. And he didn't even bother with it. I mean, how much substance do you think was in that film? I counted like 10% of a 3-hour film. There were some clever things. The Sigourney Weaver daughter character was, and what would happen is I'm sitting there in the audience like this. I can't even eat in the theater now. I have to wear my mask for whatever reason. So I couldn't even just stuff my face. So I'm sitting like this, and every time something interesting happened or smart happened, then I would go, oh, keep going, keep being smart. No more smart, no more smart. The smart goes away right away. But I saw the first one. I understood that he was writing it from the standpoint of a tween. He was writing it like a tween kid who loved science fiction. But I don't know what he was writing. He was writing it like, I'm just going to string scenes together so I can do this technical stuff. And as such, the last hour, was great, but separate. It didn't have any emotional value at all. Anyway, I also rewatched, speaking of a great action movie, it was just too brutal for me, but it deserved to be brutal. It's on Netflix, All Quiet on the Western Front.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is not a pleasure, but it is a pleasure. It's a great adaptation of the original book, and it really they just, all the previous versions, even the Oscar-winning version back in the early 1920s or whatever, couldn't do it the way the book was written. This was able to do it the way the book is written.
Nice.
Like, bam, really tough. Those are my honorary mentions. Let's get to the best. Do you have
one more? One more.
What
What
was the other one?
You had
of
Dragon Ball
course.
Super.
Dragon Ball Super Superhero. This is an awesome movie.
I wanted to see this so bad.
Now that's anime, Frank. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it, no.
Oh, look for it, buddy. I mean, you will, compare it to whatever you said was like anime, Avatar or whatever. Anime's better than a Cameron version of anime. That's a terrific, entertaining movie, and I loved it from an action standpoint because even though they're doing martial arts, they're adamant that they're doing martial arts. They're not pretending. Only Whis, yeah, there we go. Very good, Michael. Only Whis, the only character in Dragon Ball that does kung fu is Whis. You know who Whis is, everybody? Hold on, I think I have Whis over there.
I do, yeah.
I moved Whis over there. I replaced Whis with Kung Fu Kevin over here from the Minions. But anyways, Whis is a great character from Dragon Ball. But the rest of it, they're martial artists, but they're martial artists who are constantly learning to be better martial artists. Every single Dragon Ball episode is about them improving and learning and trying. And also they understand that their fights are bouts. They're not trying to prove that they can beat the other guy. They're trying to be better than the other guy. So I just loved it. You know, it really does scratch the anime, Geeky. We got more anime coming, Geeky.
I'm going to buy that on Blu-ray.
Yeah, if you can get it. They're very, as you know, Japan is, that's another reason I'm really looking forward to actually going to the Comic-Con this year next year, rather than being on video. Being there with you guys, and let's go onto that floor and get all that anime. Let's get stuff, man. And I'm pretty sure that we'll be able to get Dragon Ball Superhero by then, and the one that's on my best list. Now,
isn't Dragon Ball Superhero like Crunchyroll? Isn't that on Crunchyroll? I think
I've been looking for it. I can't find it yet.
Yeah, because I thought they have all the Dragon Ball stuff now.
So. Well, I'll keep looking for it then.
Okay.
And then I can't tape it off it, but then they'll release the Blu-ray as well.
Mm-hmm.
The Kings are in. Let the fun begin. Hey, sexy
Sexy
Sumo.
Sumo.
It's an hour late.
Yeah. Speaking of that, now. Top of my best, number 10 of the best list, I'm going from 10 to 1, Bullet Train. Now, Bullet Train, for the most part, I don't like assassination movies. I don't like movies that give the idea that 25% of the entire Earth's population are assassins. Because these movies are just filled with hit people, filled with killers, and I'm just like going, and of course, they're stronger than dirt. They're stronger than life. So I've gotten very bored with them. All right, another movie about assassins. I don't like assassins. Assassins are horrible people in real life. But Bullet Train, as you pointed out, Frank, spends the first hour setting everybody up.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you set them up, what do I love? What do I and Hitchcock love? Payoff. They paid it off. Not only did they pay it off in an action way, they paid it off emotionally. I cared about these characters. The three main guys, the brothers and the Brad Pitt character. And also I love Brad Pitt because, spoiler alert, everybody, it turns out he's not an assassin. He's a bag man. He's replacing an assassin who fucked up and couldn't do the job.
Mm-hmm.
So he shows up to do the job. So he fights differently than everybody else. He fights like Jackie Chan in a way. He's trying to avoid the fight. He's trying not to get hit, while everybody else is, again, trying to prove what a badass assassin they are. Yeah. I really enjoyed that, and they carried that through. They carried it through the whole movie. The ending was a little ruined for me because of the crash. Yes, you're right. They had to have the crash.
Yeah.
My idea as a kung fu guy, what would have made me cheer at the end of the movie is if they had avoided the crash, if they had worked together to avoid the crash, and just have Sandra Bullock there in a car and the train just stops. And then they come off, and then it blows up. After that, if it blows off after they come off, I would have cheered. And also the way Sandra looks nowadays, again, she looks like a mannequin version of herself. And I always go, every time I see her, I go, oh, because I love Sandra Bullock. I think she's great. And she just started to look like she was made out of plastic in the Lost World, whatever that Lost City, which Brad Pitt was also in. And that's an entertaining film, but again, silly. All right. My second favorite my list, The Batman. And again, he was fighting the way he was taught. And also he was fighting like a child who had lost his parents. So then I understood all of it. And also he wasn't impervious. And so the
Mhm.
action was effective. It's some of the best martial arts of the year. And again, what happens at the end? At the end, he learns Kung Fu. He learns what his purpose is. I also was, outside of that, as a fighter, he was great. As a detective, he was shit. I was really pissed. He was,
Amateur.
when I heard that this director was going to, Matt was going to bring the detective comics back and make him a detective, I was thrilled. And then he made him a total incompetent.
Mhm.
I was just like going, I love Sherlock Holmes. I love Ellery Queen. I love Nero Wolfe. I love Perry Mason. This guy couldn't even spit on their shoes. He was so stupid. But he was a good fighter. In any case, anyway, next one, Hallelujah. China is making hundreds, if not thousands, of these tiny little fast movies with TV actors and second grade actors, but they're using all the sets they have built for all these other movies. They have entire villages and even cities in China where you can go and film on them. And so they're able to do it cheaply. So they're making all these cheap, quick, fast little movies. And my favorite one of the year, the best Kung Fu of the year, Fearless Kung Fu King on Haya. It's, most of the other of these movies that Haya shows are ripoffs of martial art movies, of Japanese versus Chinese martial art movies. This is a ripoff of Shaw Brothers movies. This is clever. This is smart. They put together fight scenes that are imaginative, not just you punch, I block, that kind of stuff. It was a breath of fresh air. And the lead actor knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
The lead guy is just like,
He's good.
He may not have the Donnie Yen charisma, but man, he knows how to fight, and he knows how to kung fu fight. He was kung fu fighting, and whenever he's asked to fight on screen, you can see his eyes light up. He just sort of goes, "Okay, watch this." So yeah, I strongly recommend Fearless Kung Fu King. It's worth getting the free trial for Haya. And also, while you're there, also, what is it? What's the other one? What's the Grandmaster of Kung Fu?
Yeah, the Grandmaster of Kung Fu. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great double feature. That is very derivative of, again, Japanese versus Chinese. But as Pat and I were talking about it, as soon as that lead character, it's the actor who replaced Donnie Yen in the Ip Man series. And as soon as he opens his hands, watch out. You're going to see some really good Kung Fu. Anyway, then next, how many people on this show has seen The Woman King?
I have not.
I've seen the trailer.
You've seen the trailer. I've seen the actual movie. It puts to shame everything on your best list, Frank.
Wow.
It puts to shame everything on your best list. This is a African martial art movie with women who know their shit. And amazing acting. Viola Davis, all these amazing actors who were just sort of like, you're giving me a chance to star in an action movie? Stand back. Stand back. The moment Viola Davis can do this, let me do an impersonation of Viola Davis. She can do that, and I'm like, oh my God. The energy comes right off the screen. I mean, it's true energetic Kung Fu because it's African Kung Fu. I mean, they didn't learn, the African history did not allow for them to do internal healing. But in terms of what they did, it's an amazing action movie. And again, puts to shame virtually everything we've been talking about up until now. I had a hard time. I was tempted to put Woman King as number one. But anyway, the next one, Lost Bullet 2.
Yeah.
Which really kind of means Lost Bullet and Lost Bullet 2. They're both on Netflix. Watch them, and there's going to be a Lost Bullet 3.
Woohoo!
That guy you see on the screen there, he is an ex-stuntman who is the creator of this series. He stars in this series. He knows what he's doing. And this movie is corrupt cops, fight scenes, and car chases. And all of it are real. They're all real. There's not a moment of digitalization anywhere. And the fights are choreographed in a new fashion that are similar to the Japanese choreographer who did Hydra and Baby Assassins, which are both on Haya. But these are even better. These are super realistic, extremely smart. You know, I look at all the 8711 stuff and it seems all the same to me now. You've seen one fight scene, you've seen them all. They do, because they're training actors. Everybody is trained, you know, in the 6 weeks or whatever amount of time they have. So they all look the exact same on the screen. They all look the same. These guys are stuntmen. These are ex-stuntmen who know what they're doing. And so they're able to do something that goes far beyond what any actor can do, because you don't want to damage an actor. I mean, that's not fair to the actor, but these guys are proving their shit, and their shit is good. And again, it shows you the difference between seeing something like Ambulance, where everything's just a toy, and seeing real cars getting into real damage, doing real things. And as a human being, it will touch a part of you. It'll hit you in the gut rather than just sort of like splash on your eyes. Watching those other movies are like splashing water on yourself. It's, you know, whatever, it just runs off. These movies are like, oh man. I mean, I remember watching the fight scenes in Lost Bullet 1 and 2 and going, oh, 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 oh. You know, it really affected me. And that's the stuff I love. Next, speaking of anime, speaking of animation, one of the best films I've ever seen, One Piece Red Film, or One Piece Film Red. Depends on whether you're in Japan or in America. This was incredible. This was stunning. This was staggering. This was amazing. I mean, as I'm watching it, it's washing over me. It's incredible. It's basically, it's also a musical. And so there's all this astonishing J-pop in the movie. And I'm just rocking and rolling in my seat from the very beginning. It starts with the first song. And then it just, I mean, I was reminded of Coco. I went to see Pixar's Coco with an animator from Blue Sky Studios and a story person from Blue Sky Studios. And each of them reacted the same way at two different parts of the movie. When they did the 3 million color shot at the beginning of Coco, the animator went, whoa. And then when they had the big twist in Coco, the story person went, whoa. Red Piece One Film does the same thing. I mean, they have every kind of animation possible. And in one shot, they have it all in the same shot. They have all the different animation styles in the same shot. And they all balance. And we're talking about limit animation to computer animation. And my eyes felt like a pinball. I mean, I was just a pinball machine by the end of that movie. I was very happy that I saw it on not the official IMAX, but on the New York IMAX, where the screen isn't bigger than your eyesight. So I was able to take it all in. And I also knew that it was amazing. I mean, again, I'm just reacting. The plot changes, the animation changes. They hit you in the gut, they hit you in the eyes. Again, it's brain candy and mind candy. And I knew I was in a good place because the last shot of one of the major characters, again, I choked up. It's an amazing movie. And if you know One Piece, if you know about One Piece, which is the longest running anime and manga in Japanese history, then it's even better. But you don't have to. They tell you the story. It's good to watch the movies because they're like something like 700 episodes of the show. But they have about a dozen movies. So you just have to watch a couple of the movies and then you could understand where this is coming from. Because this goes back to the very beginning of the series and it connects it to the end. Again, amazing, amazing movie. Then Everything Everywhere All at Once. Again, they hit me in the feels. They were doing Quantum Mania. They were doing the multiverse, but they were doing it from a human level. And I also, speaking of that, you see the eye there. I'd also recommend the what's the movie with the shell? The Marcel the Shell. with shoes on. They did an animation of that, which is also beautiful and wonderful, and you should find that as well. So we don't have to talk anymore about that. Michelle is great.
Oh yeah.
The action is really good. The action fits. It holds together, and it's human. And here's one that Fat will love. And I don't know if you've seen, Frank, Prey. Prey.
No, I've seen Prey. I thought it was good. No, it was great.
It's one of the best kung fu movies of the year because she learns and she uses her opponent's weakness against them. And it's a woman who's an Indian too. I just thought it was wonderfully done.
My favorite film of the year.
Well, yeah, you had your problems with it. I didn't have your problems with it. I found it very
it's all good
and very effective.
And I like how the Predator is finally like a badass again, you know.
Well, except he's beat by a little Indian girl.
Right. Yeah.
Because she's smart. Not because she's badass like her brothers wanted to be. It's because she's smart ass, which is what you should be. Especially now, I'm switching my number 2 and my number 1. By the way, Fat.
Oh my goodness!
My number 2, my number 1, and I'm going to make my number 1 number 2.
Oh,
my number 2 is Top Gun Maverick.
Wow! Look at that!
Wow!
And the reason I did that is because Top Gun Maverick again is real, but there's no real fight action in it. It's all action and it's all real, but it's not as real as Lost Bullet. It's a wonderful entertainment. It's an extremely satisfying entertainment. It's rollicking. It brought me right along. But again, I was just like, that was a great movie. But my new number 1 now is RRR. Because it's special, it's different, it's revolutionary from both an Indian and an American standpoint. It is the optimal Indian movie. They've taken the Indian movie, which back in the day after I finished my first martial art movie book, I wanted to do a book on Bollywood movies, but they hadn't permeated America enough. They didn't do enough subtitling. They didn't do, American audience didn't really know Indian films. I watched a lot of them. Also, there were too many. There were too many of them for me to get a handle on them all. But the ones I loved. But RRR has done what I was unable to do, which is it's gotten to everybody. Everybody who sees that, and it doesn't matter what your nationality is, it doesn't matter what age you are, it grabs you. It grabs you by whatever part of you want it to grab you.
Yeah, I wish I would have seen it in theaters. By the time I wanted to see it, it's too late. They already took it off. But
I saw it at Cinema Me, and it was still awesome because again, my theater upstairs is better than the theaters I went to.
Cinema Me.
So Cinema Me, I call it Cinema Me.
Cinerec.
Yeah, Cinema Me. The sound is good in my cinema. The color is perfect. I have a 4K HD, and it was just awesome. And it really was spectacular.
Look at this little clip right here. Look at this. Are you kidding me right now? Yeah. This is amazing.
Well, what's amazing about it?
Go watch it. Go watch it, everyone.
On Netflix.
Wait a minute, Fat. You compare that to the clip that you showed of Ambulance. And it's like, why is one effective and the other one is just why is one is empty and one is
Come on, Frank.
No, it's true.
Come on, give him something.
True. One is lightweight and uncaring and a brat throwing toys, and the other one is
all right, Frank.
Artist figuring, because again, it's clear in RRR that they attach wires, that it's a lot of wire work, that all the animals
it's creative.
Created.
It's creative
though.
But it gets you in the head as well as the eyes, because he knows how to set up characters. He knows how to ground people. In Kung Fu, we call it rooting and settling. He knows how to do that. No, don't fight that. I know Kung Fu.
He knows Kung Fu.
I know Kung Fu. And also, and Frank knows. Frank has already said, from a tech standpoint, he really enjoyed these things.
Yeah.
But I'm not coming at it from that point. And Frank is younger than me. Frank doesn't need to feed his soul with every movie that he sees. At this point in my life, I do. Even though I see a lot of movies that don't feed my soul. I mean, I've seen all the movies that we've talked about, but I'm not going to put them on my top 10 list. I'm going to put them on my bottom 10 list because they weren't satisfying or smart as fun. I need smart. Frank doesn't need smart, but that's okay.
I need smart. I love Tar. I thought
You
Tar.
like, yeah, Tar
Yeah,
is
and Banshees or Inisherin. Those are great, smart movies. You know,
Yeah.
yeah. You know, I mean,
but when you see an action movie, you don't need.
I give it a little bit of liberty when it comes to action movie. Let's put it this way. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
now that I'm action guy. So anyway, those are our lists. And
Nice.
are we done?
Well done.
Can I-
done, both of you.
Yes, of course you can.
Can I
Right.
say, well, can I just add a little new segment like
Sure.
what the films that we anticipate the most the next year?
Oh
Can I-
yeah, go for it,
can I-
man.
Can I do it? So there are four films I really anticipate a lot for next year.
Yes.
Number one, John Wick 4.
Yes.
John Wick 4. It looks good. Trailer looks good. Yeah.
Of course it looks good. Since he's not a human being, he's a video game character, of course it looks good. I will go
Okay.
see it.
I'm
I will
excited.
enjoy it. But I will
Go
do
ahead,
what
Frank.
you suggested, Frank. I will leave my brain by the door. Go ahead.
So the second film, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. Part
Yeah.
one.
Damn straight. Damn straight. Yes. Very
That
excited.
one, that one I look forward to. Number 3, Doom Part 2.
I'll see it.
Okay.
Okay.
So that is it is confirmed next year.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's next year.
Oh yeah,
October.
they're doing it.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then the fourth and last film that I look most forward to next year, Indiana Jones.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
yeah,
Exactly.
fingers crossed.
crossed.
Fingers crossed.
You know this. I think I've told you the story that originally they had a screenplay by David Koepp for what was going to be number 4, and George Lucas shot it down. And so I'm hoping that this is because originally that was supposed to be the end of the series,
Mhm.
what David Koepp came up with. So I'm hoping that this is what that is, and I hope they do it with respect and with style. And fingers crossed.
I think we're gonna have a great year next year. I
Yeah.
think it's gonna be
Well,
good.
I have to say, if you saw what we just did, if you guys have been listening, it was a great year this year. Look at
Yeah.
all the different kinds of action movies. I mean, everything from Prey to Fearless Kung Fu King to One Piece Red, all over the world. I mean, France, Lost Bullet 1 and 2 were made in France. So yeah, there are a lot of guys who are stepping up. And also the horror this year I thought was really good. And I know that's going to continue to improve. So now that we have these artists doing genre films, it's the best time as far as I'm concerned. Now just Marvel. And that's the other thing I hope for James Gunn. I hope James Gunn will force, because, when Marvel was fighting against DC from Zack, they didn't have to try hard. Now they have to try hard because James is going to up the ante. So I want them to get back on track at Marvel and stop doing this aimless stuff, this pretty stuff that has no emotional meaning. So yeah, so that's a good sign. So yeah. And also the new Doctor Who.
But you have to wait 11 months, man.
I don't care.
Gotta wait
Well,
11 months.
wait 11 months.
November, right?
Bring back the old Doctor Who, and they'll have 3 specials, and that'll give me a taste of what the new Doctor Who.
Yeah,
The
but
only thing-
I
yeah,
know,
go ahead.
but this year we're gonna have 3 episodes, and then we have to wait another almost a year just for the new series. I mean, come on.
I'm happy. Well, after Chibnall screwed the pooch, I'm going to give Russell T. Davies as much time as he needs to get it back on track. And listen, hey, I've been watching since 1975. I can wait. For this as long as it's good, because I watched what Chibnall did, and it was just made me cry.
I know.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I mean, she was so good. It just wasted the script. Ruined by the scripts. Yeah.
yep.
Copy
So
that.
yeah, and also I'm going to be curious as who's the new James Bond's going to be.
Oh
and,
yeah.
yeah. But for the most part, I see each movie as they come. So if Mission Impossible, I'm definitely excited about because they have proven themselves. But the other ones, I'll see how they are. As you know, I see everything anyway. So it's not like I'm looking forward to it. I'm just I'm not. No, I'm sorry. Let me change that. It's not that I can't wait. It's that I'm looking forward to it.
You almost
We're
said
already waiting.
it. Frank, it's
And
all right, Frank. Frank,
Yeah, there you
represent.
go.
Frank,
That's
represent
wild.
mindless.
Yeah.
Mindless
I'm all there.
entertainment. Yeah.
I like it.
hmm
You know,
Leave
Rick
your
likes
brain
to
at the
have
door. Yeah.
Rick likes to have steak. Me and Frank like some pizza.
No, I
at
can't have
McDonald's
steak
once in a
anymore. I
while.
have tofu. I have fried tofu.
Oh, fried tofu. There you go.
I have delicious.
Well,
Haagen
this
Dazs.
was yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
This was an awesome panel. Thanks again for you guys showing up on Fat Samurai Guy's channel. Hey, Action Film Autopsy, baby. You know we're gonna keep doing it every month. That's right. And check the description. That's right. Check the description box below for the links to follow Rick's son. That's right. And to follow Frank. By Autumn Blu-rays coming out. That's right. 88 Films, Eureka.
Oh, yeah.
Just
I
look
did
up Frank
47
Djeng.
I
I'm
did
gonna
47
get- I'm gonna
comments
get-
for this year.
I'm going to get both
Jesus
the
Christ,
audio
Frank.
version to hear both your audio commentaries.
I cannot believe it. 47 this year. I can't believe it.
Oh, amazing.
Holy shit.
I know.
Wow. Yes. So make sure you guys follow them. And if you're new here, hey, thanks again for watching. And let us know in the comments below what your guys' favorite picks, best and worst action movies of the year. Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, all that good stuff. And out of all of these wonderful movies that they picked today, my favorite out of all of them has to be Warriors of Virtue is my favorite pick of the year, baby.
I'll
That's how we
tell
roll.
Ronnie you that. He'll be very happy.
Great
Let's go,
drone shots
Ronnie.
in that movie. Great
I
drone
love
shots.
Ronnie.
That film, no, seriously, though, that film needs to be released on video. It's been out of print for so long, you know. It's not on Blu-ray. It's not like DVD's out of
Is
print.
it even on DVD? I don't
I
even know if
think
it's
out
on
of print.
DVD.
Some, you know,
Yeah.
it's long out of
There
print.
you go.
So, yeah.
That's Samurai Guy's pick. All right, guys. Thanks again for watching. Oh, Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New
Early
Year.
Happy New Year to you
Oh,
guys.
Hello. Happy New Year.
Yes. And we'll see you on the next one. Take care, guys. Keep
Thanks for
watching
inviting me,
action
guys. Bye.
and representing Kung Fu, baby. We'll see you on the next one. Take care, guys.